The whole world is surprised by the frequency of the Schumann resonance, which appeared from the 17th to the 19th of June in the year 2023. Such frequency and bursts in amplitude have not been observed in the entire history of our civilization. It all began on the 1st of June 2023, when it was reported that the magnetic North Pole has reached a critical deviation of 40 degrees and now the poles could change at any moment. On the 18th of June, it turned out that something very unusual was also happening with the Schumann resonance. Schumann's resonance patterns that have not been seen until today appeared, which for several days increased tenfold and in places reached a value of almost 200 Hz. It usually stays between 12 and 20 Hz. The Schumann resonance in this case reminds a person what global processes are happening in space, and its culmination at the solstice has a deep sacred meaning. Now consider the miracle manifested in this burst of Schumann resonance. You can see a vertical line of patterns on the right. The patterns are the same along the entire vertical line. Let's take any of them. Consider and compare this drawing with the drawing of the eight-pointed star, which was revealed to this world in June of this year. In this first burst that occurred on Earth, a pattern of eight-pointed stars appears. Let's take a closer look at it. You see that in the right picture the lateral corners are less pronounced than in the picture left. This suggests that the eight-pointed star is just beginning to manifest on our Earth through the Schumann resonance. And both the square and the cross are already clearly visible at the same angle in both drawings. However, I remind you that the drawing on the right is not made by human hands. It is not drawn with a brush or with a pencil, but with the Schumann resonance itself. In both drawings, the cross divides both squares into 4 parts and both drawings show 8 corners. Everything is interconnected. The picture RA keys on the left and the picture on the right are the most powerful amulet in the universe. And this both pictures show also 8 corners. This 8-pointed star is manifested in all 7 sacred tables, from which the temple not made by human hands was built, about which Jesus spoke. These 7 sacred tables were taken out of the book with 7 seals, which was predicted in the revelation of John the theologian. Let's consider, as an example, the second table, which was taken out of the book mentioned above. And I will show you clearly how the 8-pointed star literally permeates this entire table, like all other tables. At the top left, there is the first subsection of the second sacred table. In the picture below, you can see 6 squares. Each square shows the same arrangement of digits as in the subsection above. Below the squares you see lines connecting the position of the digits. We now connect the oppositely directed figures. Below are the 3 resulting figures. Looking at this example in detail in the video, The World Sensation, you will understand that this cannot be done with any selection of numbers. This divine level of complexity is beyond the human intellect. All this was taken out of the 7 sacred tables, which were locked to mankind for many centuries, and were opened when it was time. Many don't understand that this is not just a miracle, but a miracle from the Almighty. The second part of the exam period begins with the unveiling of the secret of the 8-pointed star. Through this miracle, the world has the chance to recognize the gift of God in the 7 sacred tables. This revealed secret will give you an even clearer proof of the manifested will of God and the divinity of the 7 tables of the universe. This is done so that you get rid of your doubts and fulfill the will of God. Why do politicians the media, bloggers, and church ministers stubbornly participate in the information blockade about the gift of the Creator in our time, because they are not capable of having their opinions. They do not have faith, but they are waiting for what their superiors will tell them, not fulfilling the will of God. At this time, when the most precious time in the entire history of our civilization is being lost, there is another important message. I thought a lot about telling the world something important or to delay. So, until the 8-pointed star revealed its secret, it was not clear whether our world will perish or not. We only knew that if the world passes the exam, then our civilization will be saved. If it does not pass the exam, it will disappear. 3.5 years, I waited for the decision of the Almighty to reveal the secret of the 8-pointed star. All this time this event was awaited in the higher worlds. If the secret has been revealed on our earth, then it means that our world can no longer perish, no matter how the Inhumans try to destroy it. The fact is that the disclosure of the 8-pointed star on earth by the will of the Almighty means that there will be a transition from the old world to a new. This is the will of God. This means that the transition process has already begun. The longer politicians, bloggers, and church ministers resist the will of God, the more difficult the transition will be. The more cataclysms and wars will intensify. Now everything depends on each of you, as only sprouted souls will be able to enter the new world. Even those bright souls who perish will incarnate in the new world. That's why I say to those who have not sprouted, that they turn to God by fulfilling His will. My associates of the Union movement, who have accepted the gift of God, and I, are fighting for the souls of those who have not sprouted, trying to awaken them. We endure sneers, insults, deafness from them, but we continue to awaken them to the growth of consciousness, to the fulfillment of the will of our Father. We ask them to arm themselves with love for their children, so that they overcome their indifference, but they are too lazy to listen to the message of God for the salvation of our world. How low is the level of our world? If they turn away from the will of God, for that they gladly listen to false prophets and those led by demons. They only lull you to sleep by giving you false information. Don't call you to action. Now, I will tell you why I doubted whether it was necessary to say that the world won't perish after the manifestation of the star on earth. I fear that those who have not sprouted will relax and remain in inaction and indifference. All people of this planet should know that it's inaction that leads you not to the new world, but to dust. Wake up. Feel the great joy to the manifested gift of the Creator, and feel the grace in your soul by fulfilling His will. Enter the new world. Grow your soul from a humanoid bio-robot into a self-sufficient person, having your own opinion and ceasing to live according to the decree of your shepherds, who for half a year have not uttered a word to you about the prophecy that came true or about the will of God to be fulfilled. There is neither faith nor light in them, since they hide from you the message of God to our world. This is their choice. And you will make your choice towards the Almighty. Only now. The 8-pointed star has been manifested to our world with the revelation in connection with the temple, the new home, the new world, to which the transition has already begun. The main essence of these star is rising new frequencies that have not existed in our civilization before. Joy will be to those who are filled with reverence for God by fulfilling His will, showing their true faith in the light. You can find out more information by clicking on the link under the video to our website.